Hey, Shani from SpeedCubeReview.com. I wasn't planning on making any video anytime soon, but the Super Aolong came in. If you are kind of newer in the past, let's say 5 years into cubing, you might know absolutely nothing about the story of the Aolong. The Aolong story is epic. Back 10 years ago, there was two main puzzles from MoYu, and that time MoYu was a sub-brand of YJ. There was the Aolong and there was the Weilong, and there's some other puzzles they had, the Tianma and such, but those were the two big ones. And the Aolong, well, that was just an incredibly feeling puzzle. It was bubbly, it worked really well, it corner cut better than a lot of things out there. And then Felix Zemdegs finally beat the world record 5.55 time by getting a 5.33. But there was a corner twist. It had such a bad habit of corner twisting. So, MoYu came out with the Aolong version 2. That was fine. It didn't feel as nice, but people used it. And then Lucas Eder finally got the world record of 4.9. And then not many people used it because magnets started coming out. MoYu came out with the Aolong GT, which was, I would say, a flop. It was over 100 grams. They had the squared off corners, but just didn't feel the same. Well, we have not had a new Aolong in a long time, and I am excited. I was an Aolong fanatic. I really liked the mini Aolong. That was my first puzzle I ever used at a competition. What is going on here? How does this open? Is this supposed to come up on both sides? Whoa. Ooh, that's fun. Okay, so it pushes out. Other than that, I can't figure out. Come on. So other than that, I don't know anything about this. I don't know what's different about it, what's special about it. I don't know if it's going to have any relation to the original Aolong in any way whatsoever. Just the fact it has its name is nice. Now, in here, we have springs, alternate centers. Is this a solve guide or about the cube? Well, already dropped something, and it fell into my trash bin. Well, I'll have to get that later. Okay. So that is just a solving guide. Is there anything about the cube? Are these just springs instead of maglev? Are these alternate springs that might be stronger or weaker? Don't know. Now, the fact that it says Super Aolong, similar to the Super Weilong, we have corner adjustments. We have a 20 magnet ball core. My Super Weilong, honestly, if I was given this, I would have assumed it was a Super Weilong. Although I think this one is. Super Weilong, Super Aolong. Is the Aolong smaller? It's really cold because it was sitting outside and temperature's dropping around here. I've got a sweatshirt on. 55.5, 55.5. Identical in size. I have my scale. There's my scale. So here's Super Weilong, 70 grams. Super Aolong, about 70 grams. 69.9. Okay. These are looking identical right now. Let's take some pieces out. Okay, edges. So, different shape slightly here compared to that. But the torpedoes themselves are pretty much the same. And as far as corners, those look identical as well. It looks like the main difference is a slight change in edge design. I have to just use some solves and check this out. So I'm very unsure about these other springs. Oh, so those are magnets. Okay. Currently this is maglev. There's the difference. Currently this is maglev. Switching it out will be for springs. And my guess is the different colors are to give it more or less space. Maglev's going to take up more space initially because of how thick those magnets are. And instead of just trying to fine-tune the magnets and the springs, you just get two different ones. So if you prefer the springs, go for that. At this point, companies have gotten pretty good at making the springs and the magnets to be close to identical. When maglev came out, people were like, oh, maglev is so much faster. No. It was just not as strong as the springs were. And then there have been times where the springs have been weaker than the maglev setup for whatever the cube is. So it just kind of depends on the setup, but they've been pretty close. And honestly, the difference of the linear spring compression versus the maglev logarithmic exponential is negligible. I really doubt anyone could initially, just by feeling it, be like, this is maglev or this is springs, with a puzzle that's set up and maybe springs that are lubricated so you don't get that sound. Well, my one is very set up, my Aolong. I'm going to try to make it somewhat similar. I'm going to move these things back in here. Let's use some jack-o'-lantern lubrication on here. Okay. So here's what's interesting. So I really enjoy the feeling of the Aolong, the Super Aolong specifically, just because I can adjust the corners in it. I have been a huge fan of the Aolong. It's just nostalgia for it at this point. This Aolong versus the Aolong compared to in the past, I feel like they're interchangeable. Could I put one of these corners in the other one? Like if I just put the red, green, white corner, could I put the Aolong corner in the Aolong? The red, green, white. Yep. No difference. What if I try putting this edge in here? That seems to fit as well. It seems like it's just a slight redesign of the edge. Is it doing anything? I'm not sure. I don't know if it's doing anything different. Okay. So this is interesting, because if this was just called like the Super Aolong 2 and they adjusted the edges for some reason that I can't tell, cool. Being called the Super Aolong gives me this impression that it's going to be something completely different. Is it still a version of a cube that I really, really, really like? Yeah. Does it now have the name of a cube that I am extremely nostalgic for? Yeah. Would I recommend it as a top tier puzzle? Yeah. If you have the Super Aolong, is it any different? Probably not. It's pretty much identical. Like, it's not even different, slightly different shaped pieces. It's not like this is slightly more rounded, which is kind of what I was thinking it was going to be. The size is nice. It's 55.5 millimeters. That I think should be standard at this point. But I don't know. I think the whole name hyped me up for something very different. Other than that, you know my thoughts on this already at this point. Is it worth it? I don't know the price. But it's a puzzle that I really like. Is it different? No. Some reason it's just not. And whether maybe they're just trying to get out, a new iteration for the namesake, which I get it. It's business. But compared to the Super Aolong, you're pretty much getting the exact same puzzle. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit like, subscribe for more content like this in the future. As always, keep following Speed Cube View for more news and reviews.